see. So I'm trying to like kind of focus in on
yeah.
what the new system's going to look like that they're trying to put in place. Maybe you can talk about CBDCs, and maybe this can kind of segue us into crypto and see what your thoughts are on that.
100%. Well, that's what they want to do. I mean, it's as obvious to me as obvious can possibly be. First of all, in order to really have full control, they have to be able to know about every single transaction down to the thousandth of a cent. Okay, so this is why they're going to go to. We already have a mostly digital system here. I don't even carry cash anymore. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but that it's how it is these days. But that's what they're going to. They're going to implement a completely digital system. Me and Gerald talked about this from years ago. Gerald Salente, who you had on your show, he believes it's going that way too. I also believe we're in the early stages of World War III. I think that's already started as well. It's going to spread. Again, what are they going to do? They're going to use the war as a scapegoat. Okay, this is why you're seeing inflation. This is why you're seeing the world economy fall. It's their fault, anything to switch blame off of the central banks who are responsible for the economy, for the markets, and the whole entire financial system. It's these institutions here that are responsible. But again, they must remain blameless. But where this is going to go is pretty simple. Look. How I see it, and I've never wavered from this ever since day one. It's very simple. What have central banks have done is keep rates suppressed now since the last meltdown. Keeping rates suppressed creates an environment of risk. Risk meaning cash moves into equities or into the stock market. It has also inflated a pretty incredible real estate bubble. It's also created distortions across the entire spectrum of assets. All of them. Nothing has a real price discovery mechanism. What people don't know, and they're not allowed to know, is it's the debt market that sets the value for everything else.
Yes.
The debt market is the core. Everything else derives value from what's happening in the debt market. So everything else could kind of be considered a derivative, or it derives value from what's going on here in the debt market. So now that we've had rate suppression since the last meltdown here, and all this stuff has gotten totally out of hand. No price discovery behind a single asset anymore. It's very hard to say that any asset has a price discovery of anything at this point. So when this unwinds, and it's going to, because we're starting to see all this instability in the debt market. Why are we seeing that? The debt market is, first of all, it's insolvent. It's massively unstable. The whole system is insolvent.
Yes.
Because it must relentlessly acquire more debt just to function. The debt can't ever stay stable. It has to exponentially increase. Period. You see, this is another big secret people aren't supposed to know. Oh, you mean we have to borrow more money tomorrow just to maintain the same lifestyle that we did yesterday? Yeah. And then the next day more than that. The next day more than that. That's how the debt-based economic model works. So with knowing these things, it makes our life simple. What we got here is we're going to see an implosion in the debt market, which is the biggest bubble in the history of the world. We've never seen anything like it. That will implode. We're going to see rates spike in an uncontrolled fashion. We're already starting to see some of this here. The Fed's been raising rates, yes. Okay, they're trying to keep it relatively controlled. How does a central bank say, hey, we're going to keep rates at X? They can't just say it. They're not magic. They have to get into the market and make it happen. So eventually they're going to allow this to unwind here. Right now, the side effect of all this money, easy money and money printing and asset purchases is massive inflation. And they're trying to sell the lie that, hey, we're going to raise rates and it's going to control inflation. The first day I heard that, I came out on my blog and I told everyone it wasn't going to work. I said, it's not going to work no way on this earth or off this earth is going to work. It's just meant to slow the economy, kill demand, crush the consumer. That's all it's meant to do. It's not actually meant to directly lower inflation. If they wanted to directly lower inflation, what would they do? They could contract the money supply, because that's what it's really the problem is. It's a money supply problem. They expanded it,
and I think, like you said, they're trying to suppress so that they can control, so that they can go, okay, we're going to fix this for you, and here's how we're going to fix it, and you will like what we're going to give you.
Not one mainstream media outlet has ever once discussed how they could contract the money supply. All the Federal Reserve has to do is raise the capital reserve requirements of the major financial institutions above zero, where it is right now. And we could contract the money supply and we could slow inflation in reality. But you don't hear anything. People aren't supposed to know that either. It's an insane thing. So anyway, debt market implosion, rates spike. That puts pressure on the stock market. And cash, again, I try to tell people this, but they don't get it. Cash doesn't grow little cash wings and fly away. It just moves.
Still there. It just moves
through the markets. It's gonna bleed out of the debt market, bleed out of the stock market, and in my opinion, it's gonna go with commodities and cryptocurrencies. I've been telling people this for the longest time, and we have the potential to see cryptos take a moonshot when this really gets going here. And